All right. So hello everyone and welcome to the AMA with Tagspace AI. Now, just a bit of an introduction from my side before we hand over the microphone to the CEO and founder Paul Martin for, of course, a concrete rundown on what they're all about and what they're bringing to the table. So, Tagspace is offering you an AI-powered platform which delivers the right experience to the right place at the right time at city scale. Now, with this, they turn venues, events, and even cities into personalized live monetizable layers. Now, the Tagspace app that we were just talking about, it is already live, something that I very much like to see before TGE. In addition to that, if we start talking about a little bit more regarding additional products that they have, you also have Tag Studio and Taglytics, both of those products also already being up and running. And then lastly, you're going to have Tagplace, their marketplace, which is currently in development. So, a lot of products for you to make use of. Now, you're also going to get some additional information on the token side of things, so how you can earn and spend it in the ecosystem, as well as the governance model that they have in place. Now that we're currently talking about the native token, I think that the best way for us to end off the introduction would be to, of course, drop a kind reminder for their sale of the token in question. So it is already live on GemPad. It is ending, something that we did already talk about before we started off with the recording. It's ending today at 7 p.m. UTC sharp. So I believe it's a little bit under 8 hours to go. If you're interested in contributing to the sale, you can find the link to it on both the AMA announcement as well as the, fresh post from today. So that would be the last pin message here. Everything taken care for you, hassle-free, so do make sure to open it here. And for now, that'll be it from my side. Paul, it is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for joining. Now, if you don't mind, feel free to start it off with a bit of an introduction about yourself. Quite a strong background. I saw that you're a AAA video game veteran who's worked for PlayStation and EA in the past. So, let's just start it off with an intro about you, if you don't mind. And then feel free to tie it together to everything that Tagspace AI is all about. So everything you want the listeners to know, and then we're going to continue with a few of the community questions as well. So thank you very much for joining, and the floor is all yours. Welcome.
Hey, thanks so much. And hey, I don't think I need to do anything now. I think you pretty much covered the pitch. I think you covered me. So I think I just kick back and make a cup of coffee, right?
I appreciate that.
All good. Hey, everyone. Thanks for jumping in. I know it's morning, depending on which time zone you're in. It's my nighttime, and I'm Paul Martin. I'm the founder and CEO of Tagspace. And as you probably just heard, my background is deeply rooted in the AAA video games industry, where I previously specialized in making game engines for companies like Electronic Arts, PlayStation, and Sega, just to name a few. And this is where some of the core technologies in Tagspace were born. After leaving Sony PlayStation, I set up my first startup, Slant6 Games, which led to an exit from a 150 mil revenue company. And some of the games, I don't know how many gamers there are listening in right now, but some of the games I've been personally working on and have built engines for range from Resident Evil to SOCOM Navy SEALs through to SSX. And in the good old days, you can find me on titles way back as far as like FIFA Road to World Cup 1998. Anyway, Google me and you'll see them on a whole bunch of titles over the years.
Paul, sorry for cutting you off. Resident Evil is actually my favorite franchise, so I needed to jump in here. Yeah, I just finished Requiem last week and it was so good.
Oh, no way.
Pleasure to be speaking with you. That is so awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. Sorry for cutting you off here. Feel free to continue.
Hey, I'm always happy to be cut off by a fan. So Tagspace has been around now for just over 8 years. We're based in Australia, but our full team is 24 people across 11 countries. And all of our DNA is also from AAA video games, computer vision, AI, Web3, and graphics. And we've all come from similar pedigree companies like Sony, EA, Activision, Microsoft. And just talk a little bit about Tagspace, because, hopefully that's what we're here for. Tagspace is spatial intelligence infrastructure, and I'll dig into that very, very quickly. Spatial intelligence infrastructure, it delivers the right content experience to the right physical place at the right time. So we're explicitly building the spatial layer for real-world AI. And so that the problem we solve is that the internet still doesn't fully understand the physical world. And while many experiences are built for screens, key decisions happen in places, right? So Tagspace merges the physical and the digital worlds, which enables AI curated experiences that are anchored to the real world. So if you're having trouble following that, let me put it to you really plainly. Over 70% of all of the content that you consume many times a day on your phone are actually location aware, right? So think about your photos, think about your social feed, think about the news, the weather. All of these contents are very much about real world places. But currently the way that we browse these and consume this media is by sitting there and just scrolling endlessly on our phone. So, think about like that last time when you're at a place and you're trying to find a particular photo that you took the last time that you were at that place, or you're just trying to remember, oh, do you remember that time when we did X, Y, and Z? And it's like you're sitting there flicking through your feed for like, 5 years worth of content. So imagine instead, by looking through the Tagspace app with your photos feed connected as one of the many data sources, you can find all the photos that you or your friend have taken all around you based on where you are in the real world, right? So that's just one content layer. Now imagine every single possible content layer that has a real world location associated with it. And again, that's 70% of all the content that you browse, right? So this is the infrastructure that we've built. And so I'll take you through some of that user journey and also how brands and entertainment companies fit into it so that everybody's a part of this spatial ecosystem. Just to go back to the company though, the unique value that we provide is it's a global distribution layer for place-based experiences. And these experiences are measurable, they're monetizable, and they're designed for real-world engagement. All right, so that's the sort of high-level overview. And just to give some real-world use cases, because we've been doing this a long time now. So first off, events and venues. So think music festivals or sports stadiums. The organizers can create geofence zone tags. You'll hear tags a lot in Tagspace. They can create zone tags that fits around the whole event space, and then they can offer themed, branded, mixed reality experiences. So think virtual scavenger hunts for tokens, kind of like Pokemon Go, but out there in the real world where you've got real digital collectibles that can be accredited to you, and the creators of that content can participate in the token to be able to earn passive income based on how people are engaging with that. And so creators can be anybody. You don't need to be a huge multinational brand. You can be a local guide or a historian, and you can use Tag Studio to publish and monetize content like walking tours of your city, show people what it's like to live in your city as a local, right? And you can create these experiences really easy using the platform. So that's sort of high level description of Tagspace and the excuse me, and then what makes up the infra. But I'll dig into that a little bit more now and just give you some of the key features of Tagspace and then let you know how that differentiates from other platforms. There's not many people doing what we're doing, but I'll explain exactly where we sit sort of way ahead of the crowd. So one is we've got a proprietary tech stack and IP. We've been building this way over 7 years of R&D. We've had much more than 4 years live in the market. We've got 5 US patents already published and 4 have been awarded. And that puts us way ahead of the market in terms of the foundational layer for spatial web and spatial intelligence. And then Tag Studio, as you heard briefly before, this is a powerful user-friendly tool that really lowers the barrier to entry. Creators can publish high-precision location experiences just in minutes. It allows you to import 3D models and then place them at any real-world location. So if you look through our YouTube, you'll see heaps of examples of this. You'll see cool 3D content at music festivals. We've activated like a live music stage for Warner Music. You'll see sports activations around the world, some really, really cool use cases. And you can capture all of these experiences as your own videos straight from within the app. The other thing that we do better than everybody is limitless tracking, right? So to be able to do these experiences and put them really, really accurately around you, we need to have amazing tracking technologies so that we can figure out exactly where you are in a very non-creepy way, because we don't know who you are, but just figure out where the location of your device is very accurately so that we can put content around you. Right? So, think about if you want to drop a tag on a park bench, right? If that tag is like 20 meters out, it's not going to be super useful if you're trying to leave a message for somebody on that park bench as a tag, right? So we need very accurate location. We do that by fusing all the sensors on your phone. So the magnetometer, the accelerometer, the gyroscope, the GPS, and then we fuse that together with computer vision so that we can map the world around you and then figure out where you are in that mapped world very, very accurately. The other piece that we have in our platform is Tagspace. This is our decentralized commerce. It's a four-sided marketplace for buying, selling, holding, and leasing tag assets. All right, so we have zone tags, which represent an area of the real world, and then we've got content tags, which is your images, your videos, or your 3D content that lives within those zones. All right, so that's sort of high-level stack that makes up the platform.
Perfect.
I'll dig into it a little. Yeah,
so sorry, Paul. Just wanted to say that you did an absolutely phenomenal job of just guiding the community through everything that you're all about and not, essentially overly complicating it. So that's awesome. And what I very much like to see here is, well, one thing is that you have a lot of products that, of course, something we mentioned in the introduction already that a lot of participants, users can make use of. But at the end of the day, it's something that no matter what type of user you are, you're going to find your place in the ecosystem. So it is exactly how it should be. And yeah, sorry for cutting you off. If you had anything more to add, feel free to do so.
No, that's all good. And so we got a lot of stuff to cover. So I won't hang too long on that. But one thing that's super important is, and this is a question we get asked a lot, is how does Tagspace aim to engage and attract users to the platform? Right. And the way that we do this is we've got a very powerful Web 2 to Web 3 bridge. Right, we've activated dozens of music festivals. We've got big brands that have activated on the platform in the past, and we've got brands on there right now like the Care Bears. And so you can download the app and put the Care Bears around your living room or see giant-sized Care Bears living around your city. So we basically aggregate all of these cool brands and content together with user-generated content by creators and bring these all together to deliver experiences that can be enjoyed by anybody. But because of these relationships with the big brands, think the minimum company we'll work with have got at least 2 million monthly active users. And for some of the bigger companies we work with, for example, Deutsche Telekom, who are one of our multi-time customers and an investor, they've got 2 billion consumers, right? And so what we do is we leverage our proven existing client base with the telcos, music festivals, sports clubs, and brands, and we essentially use them and their marketing to be able to get access to their audience who love their content, and they're getting a whole new way to be able to enjoy it now, right? So it's super low friction, and it means we can acquire audiences without spending a ton of money in user acquisition. And then the other thing that we do is we also do an agreement with the brands to get access to their cool content. So for example, if you want to do like a themed music tour of a city, you could do that featuring your favorite artists, and you find pop-up video windows at the exact places where they'd give interviews or where they'd given music performances. So that's how we get access to new people, and that's how we grow. But most importantly, probably for this conversation, especially since we're talking about our listing on GemPad, let's dig into the tokenomics, and I'll talk a little bit about the utility of the Tag AI token. So Tag AI is our native fungible utility and governance token. And what it does is it enables users and creators to participate in the value of Tagspace's spatial content network. So it basically drives like a creator flywheel of earn, spend, boost, and engagement. Right? So I'll dig into those in a second. So first off, there's 5 pillars of the token economy here, right? And this is the 5 parts of the utility. So first off, earn, and this is the sort of tight flywheel. Creators and users earn Tag AI by publishing spatial experiences, right? And they basically earn Tag AI based on the engagement that their content is getting. So the more eyeballs you've got on your content, the more Tag AI you earn. Now, you spend Tag AI to be able to boost your content or to be able to unlock premium features within the app and the ecosystem. Right? So let's say as an independent creator, you want to make a walking tour of your city. You can do that for free. You don't need to spend anything to do that. You just go around the city, you drop your tags from within the app or through Tag Studio, upload a short video explaining why each of these places that you've tagged are cool and a part of your walking tour. Right? Now, you can do that for free. But if you then bring brands into the mix, like for example, let's say you brought in, your favorite cartoon characters, it could be the Care Bears, they're on the platform at the moment. Right? By having cool branded 3D content within your experience there, you're going to get better engagement because people are going to be more inclined to film their experiences from within the app, which in turn is going to get you more eyeballs, which is going to earn you more tag AI. Right? So that's just one of many pieces of the earn flywheel. But you can look through our white paper if you want to see other examples there. The second pillar is access. So brands and enterprises need tag AI to lease these digital land zones so they can launch large-scale spatial campaigns. So for example, if a fitness brand wanted to launch a running tour or a fitness tour of Central Park in New York, they could do that, but they need to spend tag AI to do that. Also, big brands can put up a rewards pool of tag AI so that if you go off and complete a scavenger hunt across a city or a park, then you can win a portion of tag AI that the brand has put up as a part of their campaign. So that's just a couple of examples there. You can transact using the token. So again, our marketplace is crypto native, and it runs entirely on tag AI. And so this is where users can buy and sell location-based NFTs. Right? And these aren't your regular sort of Bored Ape, CryptoPunks, CryptoKitties, whatever NFTs that sort of sit there and live as an image in your wallet. These are real location-based NFTs. Like it could be a Bored Ape that is at the Eiffel Tower, or it could be an entire walking tour of a city essentially gets minted as an NFT. Right? So you can start to see the power of the token here. And then staking is number 4. And in staking in Tagspace is a functional mechanic. It's not just a passive yield play. So in staking tag AI, holders stake to maintain assets, right? So if you think about it, we're putting content all around you in the real world, which means this content has real world value, right? Think about the worst case scenario where all you could see is like this content, you can't see the real world around you, right? That would be a horrible experience. And so we have to pin a real value on content. So what we do in the platform is we make sure that any content that isn't desirable, that isn't getting engaged with, it basically fades away and dies, right? So you can actually stake token though to keep it alive longer and extend that lifetime. So that's just one kind of use case there. And then lastly, governance, which is the sort of, traditional, what's the utility of a token? And then, a lot of companies, still use governance as part of the token utility. And we do as well, but we don't open up governance to everybody, right? You have to be a token holder that's actively contributed to the ecosystem before you can vote on its direction, right? And obviously hold token, right? So for example, you can help decide on development roadmap priorities, fee structures, or submitting proposals to the allocation of the community fund. And if you look at our tokenomics, you'll see there's a pretty healthy content and community funds that we've allocated there. So that's the sort of highlights on the Tag AI token. Got about 5 minutes left, so I'm just going to dig into show you the highlights of our roadmap, just so you can see what's coming up next, and then I'll flip the mic over to you guys. So the key highlights of the roadmap. We're just started in Q2 of 2026. So this is when we're going to do the Tag Studio Early Creators Program, which will then be followed by the launch of Tag Studio public launch. Again, Tag Studio has been used for years by big brands and big companies, and we're opening this up now to everybody. We're also going to be unlocking our voice AI assist, so that you can, within the with the Tagspace AI app, you'll be able to talk to your personal holographic concierge and say, "Hey, Sky," that's the name of your personal concierge. "Sky, show me all the bars and restaurants within 100 meters of my current location with a Yelp rating of 4-star and above." Right, and then Sky will deliver, and our agentic backend AI will go off and look through all of the content, and then it will put exactly what you asked for around you in the real world as you look through your phone or through your smart glasses. So that's coming up in Q2. Q3, we're going to open up the Tagspace Marketplace beta together with in-app rewards, and also our very first release of land tags. Again, these are these areas that coincide with the real world. And then Q4 2026, we'll open up more of our land tags, and we'll start releasing some of our mixed reality glasses support. So again, our white paper and our website has got lots more detail on that. So just before I flip the mic over, I'll just say, hey, I'll be a terrible CEO if I didn't wrap up with some calls to action. So I'll remind you again just after we do a Q&A, but One, of course, we've said it before, please check out the Tag AI pre-sale on GemPad. There's a few hours left for you to do your own research. Check out our website and the white paper, and also see our YouTube channel. Right? Honestly, we're one of the very few companies in crypto right now that's listing on launchpads that's got real product that's had some serious use cases by some really well-known brands, across music festivals, sports clubs, and across cities for a few years now. So check out our YouTube and you'll see some of those use cases in action. And just remember, when you're looking at those videos, this isn't like something that's been dreamed up by an AI. This is actual screen recordings from within the app. And if you check out our community, we run regular content creation campaigns in there where you can win prizes. So this is people actually using the app based on, to be able to record the videos that you'll see on our YouTube. The second, join our socials, get involved. Like I said, we have regular competitions to win premium content within the Tagspace app. Most of the content is free, but like I said, there's premium experiences, and we give some of those away to as prizes. And then lastly there, if you're a creator, join our community and you'll find out how to get access to the Tag Studio Creators Beta Program. And you can become one of the very first users that can create content on that platform. So I will pause there for a second. I know he's got a few minutes left for Q&A. I'll flip the mic over to whoever's keen for a question.
Perfect. Paul, just wanted to say you did an absolutely phenomenal job of just guiding not only the community, but myself as well through absolutely everything that you're going to have available, what you're building. So that is perfect. And at the start, before we, of course, hand over the microphone to, let's say, 2 or 3 community questions, as you were mentioning for the socials and the YouTube channel, so a kind reminder for everyone. I saw that I'm not the only one that I very much enjoyed the page that you had here, because there was 2 new buys coming for the session. So that is absolutely bullish to see. And on top of it all, for the socials, do make sure to join the Telegram and follow their X account. You have everything there on, once again, the last pin message as well as the AMA announcement. And regarding the YouTube, the YouTube channel, I got a little bit tongue-tied here. The YouTube channel, I have the link here. I just opened it, so I'm going to send this over to our main chat just so everyone can have a look at it. So you have it there. Everything's taken care of for you. So once again, Paul, you did an absolutely fantastic job, so thank you very much for that. For everyone tuning in, you have the YouTube channel there, the last message in our main chat. And without further ado, let's just get the party started with some of the community questions. So Jerry, you're going to be the first community question here. You are on the hot seat. Better make your questions count, better make them great ones, and hopefully you're having an awesome day today. Floor is all yours. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, man. Thanks for the great opportunity, man. So, can I go on with my question?
Of course, go for it.
All right,
Hey,
so
Jerry.
I just want to know. Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yeah. Got you loud and clear.
Okay, so I just want to know, how does Tagspace ensure the accuracy, privacy, and real-time reliability, and its spatial data layer at scale, especially in densely populated or rapidly changing environments where location-based signals can be noisy, delayed, or manipulated?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, I think you win the prize for the most technical question, because I've done a lot of these Q&As, and yeah, it's funny. People rarely ask about the actual technology for positioning. So I touched on it a little bit before. So what we do is in real time, we've got a lot of AI that we do. We've got agentic AI, we've got AI for prediction, for tracking, et cetera, but specifically for positioning, our AI location tracking, it fuses the GPS on your phone, which, exactly as you said, GPS can be super unreliable, but it's one of the few things that will tell you very specifically, hey, you're at this particular place in the world, right? Whereas things like the gyroscope and the accelerometer, they all sort of give you relative positions. So what we do is we fuse all the sensors, we fuse GPS and then computer vision, because at the same time as you're seeing the video feed on your phone of the camera, we're also mapping the whole world around you, so we can figure out where's the walls, where's the floor, where's those objects around you, where's those buildings. And we're doing all of this in real time. We really hit the phone really, really hard, and we fuse all of that together. Now, exactly as you said, as you're moving around in the world, like it's okay if like you're moving really slowly and it's really good lighting conditions and everything's happy and you're in a big open space. But if you're like running, while you're holding a phone, or if it's really bad lighting, or if you're in an urban jungle, there's lots of skyscrapers, a lot of solutions fall apart like that because they're just relying on like GPS or they're just relying on computer vision only. Whereas what we do, because we're constantly looking at all of these different inputs, our AI is constantly figuring out what is going to give you the best possible location. Right? So like at nighttime, for example, like super low light, you can't rely on computer vision to do that. It hasn't got enough reference points. So we'll fall back and rely more heavily just on like the sensors and the GPS. But then, sometimes the sensors fall apart, like GPS. If like you're surrounded by like loads of skyscrapers or big chunks of metal or whatever, then GPS can be really, really unreliable, and so we fall back up more heavily onto like the computer vision. So we're constantly sort of balancing between all of these things to give you the most accurate experience. And quite honestly, that's why music festivals have used us so many times, because they're usually really bad environments.
So let me go on to my next question. So what underlying data models and AI architectures power Tagspace spatial intelligence, and how does the system balance personalization with global consistency without introducing bias or degrading user experience across different regions?
Sorry, can you say that last part again? Your audio is just sort of getting a bit quiet.
So I said, what underlying data models and AI architectures power Tagspace spatial intelligence, and how does the system balance personalization with global consistency without introducing bias or degrading user experience across different regions? You get that one?
Okay, it was a little bit noisy, but I think we're asking how we use different how we use our AI for spatial intelligence in different regions. Is that right?
Yeah. That's what I mean, man.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's quite a few layers to the spatial intelligence system, right? So first off, we've got the our OmniTag protocol, which allows you to plug in any spatially aware content, right? So I gave the examples before, like your photos feed or your social, or it could be like Google Places, or it could be like something like a database of where's all the nearest bathrooms, public bathrooms, like in a city. It's like literally anything that's got location content, we plug it in like a sort of RSS feed, right? And then that becomes forever available to the platform, right? So you plug in like photos feed, places, points of interest, heritage sites, plus together with all of the content that all of our creators have built. And then that content sits there and lives in the back end. Now, we've then got a multi-layer agentic system which goes through, and let's say you as the user say, hey, show me all the photos my friends have taken around here, and I want to find the closest place to like buy a drink, right? So the back-end agentic AI will then go through and it will look through the entire search space looking for all of that content that is relevant to what you just asked of it. It then comes back, delivers like the top, say, 20 items based on what you just asked. Then our spatial AI layout system goes through, looks at all of that content and figures out where to place it around you in the real world at the right location, right? And then finally, we've got these additional AI systems as part of our mixed reality solution that actually renders it so that you can visually see this content around you. So it's like a multi-layer system. And we've got infrastructure that's both on-chain and off-chain for delivering this anywhere in the world. So we actually work in all continents right now, and we've delivered experiences all around them. So geographically, we're good to go.
All right, man. Thanks for that great answer. And lastly, I just want to know what strategies, innovations, and initiatives you have so that your project remains on time, since this crypto market is very competitive and changing.
Yeah, that's right. So what was the question? What are we doing differently in a competitive market? Yeah, I think that was the question. So yeah, we're sitting there in a market where everything is changing and it's super competitive. What are we doing that we think is different? I think that was the question. So to talk to that, I dug into this quite a bit, but for us, we really see Web3 as blowing up properly when it's really being used by a ton of Web2 users, right? And so that's what we're doing here. We're a Web2 to Web3 bridge because we're bringing the brands into the mix. We're bringing cool content by some of the entertainment companies that you love, the music companies, the sports companies. And we're essentially turning that content into spatial experiences that makes money on chain. Because what we do is we essentially turn this music videos, interviews with music artists, sports personalities, plus 3D content that looks like real people. We've done real life digital scans of humans, and then we can put them in the real world so that you can have your own walking tour of a city featuring your favorite pop stars, for example. And so we bring these cool experiences into the spatial AI, but at the same time, we end up making money through the platform that then gets shared across all of the people that have been involved in the creation of those experiences. So again, it could be you as an individual creator, or you could be like a multinational, massive entertainment company. And in that case, every dollar that's earned on the platform, it might need to be shared with like the music artist, it might need to be shared with the marketing company, the promoter, the IP rights holders. So each dollar might need to get split a bunch of different ways. And on-chain is the perfect way to be able to take care of that without needing to have a whole room of accountants every time you take care of this stuff, or a whole room of lawyers. The other piece as well, and we're actually doing a partnership with Story Protocol as a part of this, is on-chain IP and digital rights management. So again, these artists and content creators, they need to know that their content is going to get preserved and is going to be treated right. So we can take care of all of that on chain. And all these things is what we're doing differently and is uniquely positioning us. There's nobody else that does exactly this by quite a long stretch right now.
Jerry, hopefully you got the answer to your question. So thank you very much for that. And we're going to keep... You're here. Okay.
Thanks, man, for that great opportunity. So I'm having a network issue. Thanks, Ryan, for the great opportunity.
Yeah, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for the questions, Jerry.
Exactly like Paul said. So thank you very much for the questions, Jerry. And we're going to keep on moving to the last community question. So Hitman, you're going to be the next one, coincidentally on the second hot seat and the last one. So better make your questions count, better make them great ones. Hopefully you're having an awesome day so far. And the floor is all yours. Welcome.
Thanks, boss, and good morning. I'm actually having a very awesome day. That's a little big work to come down this one, actually.
Thank you.
All right. Paul, I really wanted to ask two questions. The first one is about data management. The reason why I'm asking about how you store data of the content, especially the contents being shared on Tagspace, is because I don't really know how you're going to be moderating the platform. Maybe this is also an opportunity for you to really shed a light on how you moderate the platform, right? With regards to things like deepfakes, on YouTube, creating a content is one thing, and then having the content to keep running when you violate any rule that's related to content creation on YouTube is another problem, because they can take your contents down at any given time, and that is really not encouraging at all. So are we going to be experiencing something like that with this?
Yeah, good question, and that's something I could talk about for at least an hour. But just to give you the sort of highlights there, or the sort of main points. So for one thing, remember this is all about location-based content, right? So that really sets things apart quite differently. And quite honestly, a lot of people haven't figured out how to, basically create location-based content that people don't want to see and need to be moderated, right? So it's a whole new sort of field there, but it also overlaps obviously very heavily with traditional content that's just that you consume on your 2D devices, right? So we kind of borrow the playbook by a lot of existing social companies for moderating content. I mean, there's many layers to it, of course, but things like profanity, we can easily filter that out using existing solutions. That's fine. But one of the really key things that we are building into the platform that's different is it's essentially community moderated content. And it's not done in a way where you as the community need to actively go off and say, hey, I don't like this. I mean, you can, but but the content that community is looking at, if they don't look at it, they can actively say, I don't like this. Or if they're just not engaging with it, then like I said before, content will just wither away and basically die, right? It just fades away and dies if it's not getting engaged with, right? So unappealing content or stuff that people just don't like, they're not going to engage with it, right? They might glance at it and say, no, that's not for me. And so basically community wins, right? So the more people like content, the more time they'll spend looking at it, which will keep it alive for longer. Because again, like I was saying earlier, the competition for real estate in the real world is very real. I know that was a lot of reals in one sentence, but so for example, if you drop a tag like to show where people can park in a crowded city, your own sort of special gem that not many people know about, right? That you, the local, have put it there. That could be just a single content piece, and it's one of the most basic tags in Tagspace, right? It could literally just be one of our arrow tags that points to a car parking spot, and you just say, hey, this is the spot here. Like if you're visiting and you can't get parked anywhere else, this is where you park. That one tag, it's super simple. You don't need to be like a mad artist to do it. Can get so much engagement and so many likes because it's really useful to everybody and it helps improve their lives, right? So lots of different ways that you can make that. Now, on the flip side, if you make content that is just crude or just people just really don't like it, they can either report it directly or again they'll just say, I'm not looking at that again, and then boom, it will naturally, as part of the platform, just disappear. So that's just a few ways that we take care of that. It's basically moderation that's built into the platform, and then also just sort of user contributed moderation as well as automated.
Yeah, I understand that clearly, but a little bit of clarity I'll be needing from you is this. So with normal moderations, right, you get to know exactly what you did wrong, even though sometimes you don't know unless you read all the document that is actually detailing out the terms of services for the platform that you're using. But on this one, I really wanted to ask, okay, fine, I made a tag, right? And maybe gets 10 likes this month and then next month nothing happens. Does that rule out all the engagement I've got this month and then next month you get wiped out of the platform? Or is there any form of reminder to the owners of the content, this particular tag is not really going to be up for a certain period of time, so that maybe if the person wants to download that particular tag and keep it on their phone for whatever purpose later on, it can be done?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so two bits to that question. So so I'll answer the second bit first. So yes, in the app right now, you can drop personal tags and those live forever, right? They only exist on your phone. They're not shared with anybody else. And you can use those to tag important things in your life out in the real world. Like, you just parked your car in a place that you don't usually park it. So drop a tag there when you leave your car. It will be there when you get back. I actually use that one a lot. And then you can drop a tag to set up meeting points for your friends. So let's say you're going out it could be a music festival. This is a really popular feature for it. But you can drop a tag there and then share it through your socials with your friends, and all your friends will see that same tag at the same location and be able to find their way back there. Right, so those ones live forever until you choose to delete them. But then the other tags that are just shared with the public, if you create some content as a creator, and it might get some engagement at some point, but if it doesn't constantly get engaged, it will slowly disappear, exactly as you said. But then that was one of the pillars of the token utility that I mentioned. If that tag is important to you, then you can choose to stake Tag AI, and that also will help keep it alive, right? And this is also what some of the brands do, right? Because they might create content, it might be like a single event that only happens once a year, right? In a park, like a scavenger hunt or whatever. But instead of having to rebuild that experience every year, they can just choose to stake Tag AI to keep that thing alive, for the other 364 days, so that all of the content is there and ready for the following year. So that's just one of the good places, where you can use staking to spatially use and place your content. So there you go, spatial staking. I bet that's the first time you've heard that.
Yeah, it is. Okay. The last question I really wanted to ask. I mean, thank you very much for the clarification with regard to the first question. I really make sense of that right now. And I do want to say that with regards to the personal tag, I think it will come handy. It will come in handy for a lot of people. I mean, people like myself. I don't really do a whole lot of public content creation anyway, so that makes sense to me. I was
Yeah.
kind of confused earlier on, like, okay, so am I going to get my content deleted out of no reason? Maybe no likes and then it's gone. So the
Yeah, no,
second
it's
question,
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so the second question I wanted to ask is, you're literally launching into the bear market. I mean, the beginning of the bear market. This is still beginning of Q2 of 2026, and this market turbulence will actually last until the end of 2026, if I'm not mistaken, if everything is equal with regards to the previous cycles, right? And your initial launch speculative supply is just 2.6%, if I'm not mistaken, or 2.7%. I've forgotten the actual figure, but it's somewhere between 2.6%.
It's actually even lower than that, but yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask, with your initial speculative supply being that low, it means there'll be a whole lot of, token unlocks happening from all the pre-seed, seed, private, community funded, and all of that. There'll be a whole lot of unlocks, especially from the next 6 months and ongoing. So I'm kind of curious how you really plan to keep the price, worth it for the people who are there for the long time. Because, I mean, if the token is worth $1 right now, and that's 2.6% circulating supply, and, during the unlocks, maybe say another 50% of the supply unlocks over maybe the course of another 1 year, the price would take a huge hit. So if you're not really controlling the shark, maybe with buybacks and all of that. So any plans for something like that?
Yeah, so certainly part of the economy is going to be using buybacks as a mechanic to defend the ongoing price of the token. Because remember, part of what we're doing, and this is also a significant part of the answer to your question, is we're trying to become that Web 2 to Web 3 bridge, right? The lion's share of, like, most people in the world just really don't care about crypto. I'm just going to be blunt about this, right? We in the crypto community, we drink the Kool-Aid. We love it. We can see the future in it. We've got our own tool, we've got our own way of speaking, we've got our own communities. But most people are not crypto natives, right? And so we've spent years just trying to really make it super easy to make all the crypto bits that are working behind the scenes that are super powerful, like revenue sharing and IP rights management and blah, blah, blah. We've been working to make that completely invisible. We need wallet connections and bridging and gas fees and whatever else just to disappear before regular people can actually use and have like a really good experience on these, right? So as a part of that, some of our tools will just take regular fiat currency as native. So for example, like the Tagspace app, right? That will take fiat currency. And so, but we've also got a commitment to the token as well. So through buyback and burn mechanics, and then you can look at our tokenomics as well and see how the economy all plays out. But that's just one of the ways that we can take revenues that are generated in fiat, and then that will essentially contribute to to the upside of the token. So we've got a few mechanics in play there. And then look, honestly, in terms of bear market, bull market, we've been around for a long time now, and so we could just wait and wait and wait. And in fact, we've waited for best part of 2 years looking for a really good gap in the market. And honestly, if you've got product, if you've got real use cases, you've got real commercial legs, which we have, we'll launch, we'll weather the storm, and then we'll pop out the other side. So it's very well defensible that way. And quite honestly, we don't want to wait any longer because we've got brands in our pipeline. You can see on our website, you can see in our white paper that we've been promising this new business model to for a long time, and that's all part of our pivot that's going to activate once we launch the token. So yeah, we'll get the token launched, and yeah, who knows, it might be a little bit bumpy, but the flip side of that is that we will be one of the few true utility tokens that are out there as the market turns and improves, and will have already been listed, will have been de-risked, which makes it just an obvious choice for new investors that are looking on the exchanges.
All right, I wish you the very best with Tagspace.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much for the great questions.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Thanks, boss, for that.
Thank you for your questions, Hitman. And without further ado, here is where we're going to be ending off today's session. So once again, Paul, just wanted to say once again, you did a phenomenal job. And thank you very much for answering the community questions here as well. Just a kind reminder once again for the pre-sale. So it's ending today at 7 p.m. UTC. Do make sure to check the link out. And Paul, if you have any closing thoughts, anything else that you wanted the community to know, do make sure to do so. So handing over the microphone to you for the last time, and then we're going to end off the session. So thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Yeah, just to recap again, obviously check out the pre-sale, check out our material, but also join our socials. There's some really good activity on our socials right now. We're across Discord, Telegram, and X, of course. X is a bit more notifications, but lots and lots of good talk going on Discord and Telegram. Get involved, find out how you can get early access to our Tag Studio Creators Beta program. And just remember, you don't need to be a mad artist to be able to create on the platform. Anybody can contribute. So, I'll give you one sort of parting example. Think about when you're using like Google Places or Google Maps, right? If you get to a place and it's closed, but Google said on its map that it was actually open, you can hit a little button in there and say, hey, you're wrong. These are the actual opening hours of this place, right? In Google, at some point, you'll get back a confirmation that says, hey, thanks for that. Slap on the back, well done, you did good. Whereas on Tagspace, if you say, hey, this tag that somebody dropped here that's supposed to be pointing to this bus stop is actually like 10 meters down the street, we'll go off and we'll correct that because it's basically crowdsourced content. And then if your reposition of that tag comes in and it turns out to be like the winning spot, then guess what? You will earn Tag AI just by contributing that way and being a good citizen, right? So lots and lots of different ways you can contribute to the platform. You don't need to be an artist. Drop tags at places that will help other people, and then boom, you can participate as a creator. So there you go. I'll leave that with your thoughts. I'm sure you'll come up with tons of use cases. Imagine you can drop tags anywhere in the world with messages on them or cool 3D animations, and you'll get the general idea as to what we're doing.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you very much once again. Wishing you the best of luck for the sale as well as the launch. And for our community, we're going to catch you on the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day as well. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone. You too. Bye.